Have a seat.
Thank you.
Well, Mrs. Lloyd, by the way, call me Tom.
And please call me Linda.
Sure. We're sort of formal around here, but we like to keep a pretty close relationship, with our employees, with the customers, with anyone we meet with. Listen, your telephone call was very, very interesting. I understand from your phone conversation that you are in a job search now.
Correct.
And like I explained to you, we have no openings here right now, but you just sort of interested me in that you wanted to ask maybe a few questions, and maybe I can be of some help to you.
Well, maybe it'll help you just a little bit to tell you a little bit more about me. I know we didn't do a lot of it on the telephone, and then kind of explain what my purpose is.
Sure.
I'm originally from East Tennessee and moved to Memphis with National Bank of Commerce about '95. That was after a very successful career in the banking field. However, when I say banking, I was building branches most of that time. And that was from the project management standpoint of the construction to hiring the employees to doing all the training. And that was very successful for me. A couple of the tools that I developed for the time management part of that and the project management, the consulting company actually adopted to use as part of their sales and marketing strategy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was. It was a very good career. But, at some point in time, you just get to a point where you need to make a change. And so that's why I'm here. I have decided that it is time for me to make a change. And because I've been so insulated in my little banking world, I want to find out about other people's careers and about what their companies do and what other industries are all about. So that's why I'm here. I thought you'd be a good person to ask some questions about, and I'd like to take some notes while we do that, if you don't mind.
Oh, certainly.
Great. I've told you a little bit about me and my career, but how did you get started in yours, Tom?
Well, this may surprise you a bit, but, and I don't know why you chose me particularly, maybe because of our company, not me particularly. But my background is, my education is accounting and finance. I'm CPA. I worked as an auditor with Ernst & Young for a number of years. And I was sort of thrown into the situation of doing audits for manufacturing.
Oh, okay.
And I was in a number of manufacturing plants around the South. And I just became real intrigued with their operations and how they handle their systems and customers, the things that they do. And so I began to study, and I studied techniques in manufacturing processes and became even more interested. I enrolled in some courses actually at the university, learned some lean manufacturing techniques, and studied the Six Sigma operations that General Electric developed, and a few other things. And then, like you, I thought, I'm ready for a career change. I want to do something different. I had done some work at this company, and so I was quite familiar with them. And I began to talk to them about how I could possibly make a contribution here. They became interested in me, and I came on as their Director of Supply Chain Management, which is the position I have now. I've enjoyed it. I love working with the people that I'm associated with, and I think I've been quite successful.
In your industry, is there growth here? Been successful in this industry. What do you think some of those qualities are?
Well, Linda, I suppose just being observant, perceiving and understanding the needs. You've got to ask a lot of questions. You've got to be inquisitive. You don't want to miss any opportunity to serve a customer even better. You'll give them something a little extra, but you've got to totally understand what their needs are. And when I speak with customers, I'm internal as well as external. In my position in the supply chain management field, I've got to serve a lot of internal customers. And then in turn, that ultimate product gets to our eventual consumer. So I think just observation, understanding, organization, being sure you've have the details covered.
Well, I found that in my experience in banking, whether it was truly a branch where you're doing, the day-to-day operations of loans and deposits, just understanding your customer through that questioning strategy, being observant, it really helped me develop my organizational skills. I've learned to be a lot more perceptive and analytical over the years just because of that. So I can certainly understand why you would need to be that. Based on the little bit that you know about me, how would my skills and background fit into this type of industry?
Well, it would be quite a career change. However, I recognize in you certain people skills and your ability to you use the word perception, you can perceive, their needs. Some of the things that we are doing in our industry today, we've used a lot of industrial engineers to help us facilitate process improvements or implementing new procedures, new techniques. And I can see an individual like you with your consulting background, your inquisitive nature, and your facilitating abilities, that you could be used in the manufacturing industry in some areas. Like I said, facilitating the implementations, observing actual operations to make suggestions. As an outsider, you might be a big help to some industries because you can see things with an unjaded eye, to where, the person that's been doing it for so long just can't see the forest for the trees.
Right, and that is something that I discovered when I was consulting. You would go into a bank, and we've always done it this way, would be the typical answer that you get, the question, why do you do it this way? Well, we've always done it that way. And you're right, sometimes an outsider's perspective can make you think through things that, have just gotten that way over history time. You've made a great career change. As someone who's gone through that process, what are some recommendations that you would have for me? What would you do if you were me?
Well, Linda, I think you're doing the right thing and just doing the investigation, trying to learn about other industries. And you're right, in your case it would be quite a career change. My son has worked in banking for a number of years, and although I haven't, I've learned some things about the industry, and not to the extent that I'm sure that you've been involved, but this would be quite a change. In my case, because of the auditing I had done for a while, I knew some things about their operations, because I not only audited financials, but certain operating processes. A recommendation I have, though, is continue what you're doing. But when you decide on an industry that does interest you, more than another, do some additional research. You might want to even consider some courses that are available at the university, or some online courses over the internet that could teach you techniques or teach you standards or government regulations, for example, the things that you would have to comply with or adhere to or be knowledgeable of in order to make the right decisions, wherever you place yourself. Okay. So I think some study, continued research, investigating. You've got a lot to offer, I can tell.
Well,
do you have a copy of your resume?
I do, actually. And I was going to leave that with you. For you. And I also have one of my business cards. I know sometimes it's harder to keep up with the resume than it is with the cards, so I brought one of those for you as well.
Thank you. Well, like I told you earlier, we have no openings right now, and our company is structured like so many others. If you were applying for a position here, you'd have to meet with the HR people first.
And I can understand that.
They're pretty demanding. They're sort of a different breed than us people that are in the operations all the time. But at any rate, they're a good group.
Yeah.
I, with your permission, I'll send this to our HR department.
I'd appreciate that.
They may know of a need somewhere that I'm not familiar with, or the need may come about sometime in the future. I'm not real sure of anyone I'd like to send it to outside the company, or pass it around, but I'll keep you in mind. I attend a number of civic functions, and if I run across an area where someone's mentioning a need for someone that I think you might fit into it, I'll let you know.
Well, I appreciate that, Tom. And if you do that, I'd like to know who, so that I can follow up with them, because I'd like to have that contact additionally. And one of your recommendations was to continue talking to other people like you. Are there people you could recommend that I would talk to in other industries or even in your own?
Well, let me think about that. Like I mentioned, some of the things, I'm a member and quite active in the supply chain management organization here in Memphis. We are a chapter of a national organization. I can think of a couple of individuals there that you might like to meet with that's still in the manufacturing industry, because that's sort of my field right now.
Sure.
Let me suggest a couple of people
great.
for you.
That would be wonderful.
The first one comes to mind is Mikey. Mike and I play golf together occasionally. He beats me up pretty bad.
Oh, no.
His name is Michael Jordan. Michael is with Gatorade.
Okay.
And has responsibility for logistics there. He's not total supply chain management, but responsible for logistics, being certain that the appropriate object is placed in the right place and sort of goes through the hoop when he should.
Okay.
He's quite an athletic guy. He travels a lot. May have trouble getting in touch with him, but.
Do you have an email address or a telephone number or just a regular address would be fine too?
Let me just give you the company address. I
Okay.
don't have his email address.
Because I would do the same type of letter that I did for you.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's Michael Jordan, and his title is Director of Logistics, and the address is, of course, with the Gatorade. It's at 743 Dunn Avenue,
Okay.
and that's Memphis 38111.
Great.
Well, I have his phone number also.
Okay.
His phone number is 624, and of course that's area code 901,
Mhm.
8211.
Okay. And do you mind if I use mind if I use your name?
Oh, no, go right
I
ahead.
use my name, but if you mind if I use yours
No,
as
go right
well?
ahead, yeah.
Thank you.
Let me tell you another. This is a real interesting person. You'll enjoy meeting with him.
Okay.
Don travels some too. He tries to impersonate an entertainer at times. Donald Osmond.
Okay.
Don is with Don's with Pepsi, sort of a competitor to Mike, but he is responsible for supply chain management there.
Okay.
The similar position that I have, and they have, you know, Pepsi and Gatorade are not total manufacturing like we are in producing the fans that we produce, but you know, it is a process, and they have some similar needs and responsibilities. They've got to have the raw materials, they've got to make the delivery, you know,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to learn
ins and
about
outs that we
that.
have. And they have contacts that I may not have.
Okay.
Don, their address is, Pepsi is over at 6805 Carrier Road. They're actually in Collierville.
Okay.
And his phone number is 634-666.
Okay. And is his last name Osmond?
Yes.
Is that the way it's spelled? Okay,
Yes,
great.
that's correct.
And he goes by Don or Donald?
He's Mr. Osmond.
Okay. So, without a doubt, I would call him Mr. Osmond.
He's a little older
but,
than you and I.
Yeah, I didn't know if the letter should be addressed to Donald or Don.
I'd go with Mr. Osmond.
Okay.
But Mikey, you can call him Mike.
Okay, great. Well, do you have any other suggestions for me, Tom, if I said about this career search?
Well, I just want to wish you Godspeed and good luck in your search. I think you must have a lot to offer someone. I'm impressed with the idea of you just doing investigating and meeting with people. I've never met with anyone like this before.
Well, I do appreciate you giving me the time to do that because it is important. Like I say, you know, you get so insulated in your own little world that you really don't know the other companies that are out there unless you've had direct dealings with them.
Well, here's another suggestion, and this has sort of happened to me. Once you get into your new position, don't lose your network. Keep up with those individuals that you have worked with in the past and those that you have met. You don't know how it might pay off for you in the future.
That's
You're
true.
right. We get so isolated in our new position and our new efforts that, you know, we don't seem to keep time or maintain time for some people that we knew in the past that have helped us in the past.
That's good. And I'd like to keep you updated on how it's going as well, especially once I've talked to Mr. Osmond and Mr. Jordan.
Oh, sure.
If that's okay.
Sure. I'd love to hear from you.
Great.
Okay.
Well,
Very
I
good.
appreciate
Well,
the time today,
again,
Tom.
good luck, Linda.
Thank
Right.
you
Yeah.
very much.